Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And today on Perspectives, we take a look at truancy in Mobile County, why county leaders say that it's a priority and concern, and what difference their latest actions are making. Now, just a few weeks, more than 100 days in office, the new Mobile County District Attorney created quite a stir, as 15,000 letters were sent out to parents of children in the Mobile County public school system. They were not letters of introduction, but the letters contained demands that the parents attend truancy sessions. The letters stated that their child had accumulated excessive absences and/or tardies during the previous school year. Now, the letters also ordered the parents to attend a 30 to 45-minute session on one of 3 days at the Mobile Civic Center. Now, many parents were shocked and confused, but the DA's main intention was to have an opportunity to share with parents why it was important for their child to attend class. The massive 15,000 mailing was also a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic caused a backlog of early warning truancy cases, and many parents may not have known getting the truancy rate under control is important for many reasons, including crime prevention. And that's why the letters came from the district attorney. Our guest today on Perspectives, Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood. And after a quick break this morning, we'll talk with the DA about the latest results of an initiative that his office kicked off in the summer of 2023, 7 months ago. Perspectives continues in just a moment. Welcome back this morning. We're talking with the Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood. And I guess first, welcome you back to the program this morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Eric. Thanks for having me again.
Well, we're talking about truancy again, and that's something that you expressed some serious concerns about where we were. The pandemic had some terrible effects as related to absences and tardies. So let's look back before we get into some of what's going on now in your results. What exactly, as we look at truancy, what are the effects that have on a family, the community, as well as the areas of concern that fall under your jurisdiction?
Absolutely, Eric. Well, there's no question that we at the District Attorney's Office are going to prosecute crime, and we're going to be tough on crime. But one thing that was important to me was crime prevention. And what we've seen was a trend of high truancy rates leading to kids dropping out of school, not graduating, and going down a road that we'd rather not go down. That eventually can lead to an increased crime rate. So I thought it was important under my authority, under the Alabama Mandatory School Attendance Act, to really tackle truancy and give our children the best opportunity that they can have for success by getting them in school and providing the resources that they and their families need in order to get them there.
So how bad had the pandemic affected the numbers? I know you look at some thousands differences, but give us an idea of how much of a change took place over that 3-year period, roughly.
Right. So over that 3-year period, truancy just exploded. It got as bad in Mobile County public school system, as bad as 32% chronic truancy rate, which is 15 absences or more. We're talking about thousands of kids that were chronically truant. And so, in order for us to really tackle that issue, it took a team from the District Attorney's Office under our authority, as I said, the Mandatory School Attendance Act. It's a team that's funded by every school system in Mobile County, and this team of social workers interfaces with these families that we identify through the number of unexcused absences. So we identify the families. In many cases, we do an in-home family assessment in order to figure out what the root problem is, why the children are not getting in school. And then we pair them with existing community resources, we monitor their progress, and we make sure that they're in school. And just over one semester, since we fully implemented this in August, we saw some tremendous success.
Before we get to those numbers, I guess another question about the pandemic. Exactly how did the pandemic affect the families where their patterns were changing and different in that greater number of percentages you saw? Was it due to concerns about the pandemic itself, or just the way life had changed for many people, I guess?
Well, I think the pandemic changed everything. We shut the schools down. We told people to stay home. We told people to isolate. I think that really had a detrimental effect on us as a community. And coming out of that has been a process, and it's not just in schools, it's in every area of life. We dealt with it in the criminal justice system, in court. I'm proud to say that we are through the COVID pandemic in just under a year. So
you got a lot of backlog.
We did have a lot of backlog, and we had some beforehand, so we've still got work to do, but we are through the COVID pandemic at this point. But dealing with it from a school perspective, I know the school systems have really had a time recovering, coming out of that. We want to do what we can to assist them by helping these families and providing the resources that they need in order to get to school so that the teachers can educate them.
And when you talk about the school systems, do they come to you also and say, let's see how we can tackle this thing to get us back on track, so to speak?
I've been very proud of every school system in Mobile County coming on board with Helping Families Initiative. It's the first time that every school system has worked with the district attorney's office to tackle this issue. I couldn't be any more proud. We've got Mobile County Public Schools as well as the municipalities. We're bringing on some different types of public charter schools now. And so, the work that we're doing together is really going to make a positive impact for these students.
So when you talk about it, I guess you're dealing with what? Nearly 70,000 students now in the county?
It's between 60 and 70,000 public school students countywide. I'm proud to say that just in one semester, we served over 5,000 families directly through the presentations that my HFI team made on truancy, on bullying, on online safety. We directly impacted almost 10,000 students. And so, the work that we're doing with the families that we directly serve, that has an impact on the entire classroom, on the entire school. So we are indirectly serving the entire school system.
And we're going to talk more about that Healthy Family Initiative. I know that I don't think I got a chance to tell you, but I found out about your success through chance meetings on the street with a former DA and a judge who were both very proud of the initiative, what it meant when they initially started it, and then seeing what you've done with it since you've been in office. And I mean, they literally flagged me down and told me, you need to give him a call and talk to DA Blackwood.
I'm glad that meeting happened. This is a program that's proven to work, and we're taking it to the next level. And we've gotten some national attention over it at this point, just in these few short months. So I couldn't be any prouder of the team and the work that they're doing.
So before we talk more about the Healthy Family Initiative, talk about some of the numbers. We were looking at some 15,000, actually more than that number, that went out that summer for the letters to the different families. Right. So what difference have you seen this school year? We're sort of halfway through, and I guess in the next, we're in the spring section now as we head to the summer.
Sure. So those letters went out to families, 5 or more unexcused absences. The 15,000 was a big batch, but the entire number for that year was almost 53,000. So far, halfway through this school year, through our work, that number is just over 8,000. So we're at a fraction at that level. The chronic.
What percentage is that roughly of a change when you look at? Are we be looking at the 8 and 15 or the 8 and the 50?
So, well, almost 53,000 for an entire year, and we're just over 8,000 for half a year. So we're at a fraction. And I'm a prosecutor, not a mathematician, but it's a lot less.
That's all right.
We're seeing tremendous success there. With truancy petitions filed at Strickland Youth Center, that's when we get to the point where we're trying to prevent everyone from getting. We were seeing 400, 500, 600 petitions a year. Just through half of one year this year, we saw 15 filed at the Strickland Youth Center.
That's a major change.
Major change, and 5 of those were for people that were never even enrolled, and so there wasn't much we could do to help them. So that's a tremendous change.
Now, when it gets to that point, what exactly are we seeing happen when it gets to Strickland and the youth court?
When it gets to Strickland Youth Center under the truancy petitions, Helping Families Initiative has to pull out because we can't help them and prosecute them at the same time. However, in the prosecution of truancy petitions, I'm working to implement a program called the Fatherhood Initiative that seeks to help these parents, even at that point when they're under the supervision of the court, still try to help them, get them the resources they need, so that at the end of the day, if they reject all the help that we're trying to give them, then the judge out at the Strickland Youth Center can feel comfortable with where we do not want to put parents, which is metro jail, which is the penalty for being convicted of truancy.
And do you usually see, when you get a chance to sit down and talk with them initially, that they want to do what's right and proper for their children and their family, but there are a lot of other little things maybe that are going on in their lives?
I think the vast majority of people want to help their children. I mean, I think pretty much everybody can say that. Life is very overwhelming here in the 21st century. There's an onslaught of technology, of internet, of content, of just real life problems, economic problems. Poverty plays a role in it. So it can be any number of issues that a family just might be missing a little piece of something, and that's where we want to come in. And we want to help them, and we want to get their kids in school so that they have the best opportunity they can possibly have.
That's good. I'm sure hopefully they understand when the DA calls that this is not about prosecution, but this is about helping the family get back on track.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what has happened with the truancy numbers this first half of the school year, and how the Healthy Family Initiative works as well.
All right.
All right, our very special guest today, District Attorney Keith Blackwood. We'll talk more about his program, the Healthy Family Initiative, and of course, truancy issues. Welcome back. Our guest this morning, Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood. We're talking about the Healthy Family Initiative as well as truancy. And you have some major success when you look at percentages and numbers, what happened from the last two semesters, comparing 2023, I guess that would be considered the fall semester, with the spring semester of earlier that year. How well did the change happen that where you saw comparing the two? Well,
we just implemented this program fully in August of 2023, as you know. And looking back, we ran the numbers to see what the chronic truancy rate is, which is 15 absences, unexcused absences.
For that
period of time, okay. Just that semester. And what we found was that it was 6%. We looked at the same data for the 2022-23 fall semester. And what we found was that back then, before this program, it was 9.5%, which means
almost 10%.
That's almost 10%, which means that roughly, really over 1,600 students are not chronically truant as compared to the same time period last school year. We expect that number to increase. Last school year, it increased over 30%. So we're hoping for a much smaller increase by the end of this school year.
Right. And so we'll be looking at those numbers at the end of May.
We will.
When you look at the people that it's affected, who does it seem to be? Does it seem to be intact families, or families that are missing a mom or a dad, or being raised by their grandparents? Is there a model that we are looking at, or every situation is different?
Truly, every situation is different. As you know, Mobile County is a very diverse county. I mean, the north part is very different from the south part, very different from the central part, and schools right next to each other can be very different. So we're serving people from all walks of life in our public school systems, and that's the beautiful thing about the Helping Families Initiative. Our team of social workers doing the family assessments can tailor-make a plan, and then put people in touch with existing community resources, and there are hundreds or maybe even thousands of them out there that we can tailor-make a plan for any situation out there.
Now, when you look at, let's get into some of that with which we're calling now HFI, the Healthy Family Initiative. Now, how old is the program, and then why did you decide to bring it back under your administration?
The program started in about 2000. John Tyson Jr. was the district attorney in Mobile County, and he implemented it at the district attorney's office. And then when he retired, he took the program statewide. It's in about half of the judicial circuits in Alabama right now. And under Ms. Rich's administration, we had it for some time, but transitioned to a different program. So, when I looked at it, I'm a data guy, even though I'm not a mathematician. Okay. I do enjoy data, and I like to use it. And so I looked at it, and I saw, this is a program, when properly implemented, it works. And I identified somebody that could be a leader of that program, and I told her what my vision was, and that vision was implemented, and we're going to continue to get better each and every day.
How was the funding issue? 'Cause I know at one time there were some serious concerns about having the money to do some of the programs that the DA's office does.
Right. This program right now is funded from the Volunteers of America, who kind of runs the Helping Families Initiative statewide. And then the vast majority of the funding comes from the public school systems themselves in Mobile County. So I went to all the superintendents and I laid out my vision and my plan and what I thought we could accomplish. And they came on board. They were very excited about it. And I think some of them remembered successes from when the program existed years ago. So I think there's some optimism there. But they all came on board. They funded the program, and now there's a push to try to have this funded from a statewide perspective, which I think would be really good for every judicial circuit in the state.
Well, kind of walk us through the program, how it starts, and then what happens once you select the child or the child and the family to say, can you help us? How does that start initially?
There's a couple of ways that we can help families. There's referrals that come from the school system. Those are the vast minority of what we have now, but we do get referrals from different schools. What we do is take data from the state school system through an application that they use, and our metric is unexcused absences. So when you hit a certain number of unexcused absences, that generates a report that my staff will get, and then we have an interagency meeting with various agencies and organizations around the community.
Part of your team?
Part of the interagency team. And they'll go through case by case and decide which students here fit the metrics that we can help. They'll go do an in-home family assessment, figure out a plan, come back to the interagency team, and then monitor the progress of that student throughout the rest of the school year until we see that the student's not in danger of being truant anymore. They're attending school like they're supposed to, and we just keep doing that over and over, helping as many as we can.
So the teachers, I'm sure, play a valuable role for you because they're giving you input of how they're doing in the classroom. And then you've got your team members who can, I guess, also supply maybe extra, what I want to say, tutoring and things of that type as well, so they can help the student get back on track?
Well, the HFI staff itself doesn't provide tutoring. We act as a broker of services that already exist. So if there's a tutoring organization out there, then if there's a need, we could certainly put a student in touch with that organization. Sometimes it's as simple as, a student couldn't afford a uniform, or the family couldn't afford a uniform, or school supplies, or a backpack. Transportation might be an issue. There could be, mental health issues going on with the student or with the family, and we have access to organizations that can help with situations like that. Every circumstance is unique, and we're going to tailor make a program for any situation.
That sounds exciting. I remember meeting a principal years ago who put a washer and dryer in the school because of that issue of a child having a clean uniform, and that was one of the things that kept the child away. They'd be sent to school like that, and then they would leave because they felt, so self-conscious of that.
Right.
And that will create truancy problems. So when you, I guess parents who may be watching this and hearing the information, or grandparents, if they want to get their student into this program, is that possible? How do they work and make that happen?
It's possible to reach out to us and talk to my team, my HFI team. The contact information is on our website. It's www.mobileda.org, and all of that contact information is there.
Because I can see those who are maybe some cases hearing the information for the first time and saying, well, we need to get involved in that program.
We've had many parents come to our early warning truancy sessions down at the courthouse and ask for that help, and those are many of the families that we've directly impacted, which is up into the thousands now. It's over 5,000 families directly impacted by our HFI team.
So where do you see this going, where you've got zero truancy in the county, or how will we see this all work out?
Well, zero truancy is the goal, just like zero crime is the goal on the prosecution side of things. We would like to see both. However, I'm realistic. I do think that there's always room to be better, and we're going to work as hard as we can to get these numbers down as much as possible. We want this community to thrive, and so we are going to prosecute crime, and we are going to help our children get an education so that maybe one day we won't have to prosecute as much crime, because it doesn't happen.
That's good to hear. And so do you have enough team members, or are you looking to expand with other agencies?
We're always looking to expand our interagency team. We're building the team. We started last summer. That's going to be an ever-evolving team. So if you have an organization, if anybody out there is involved in an organization and you think you can help kids in schools in any way, then reach out to our team. And again, the information's on the website.
All right, DA Keith Blackwood, and let's show the information for contacting the DA's office. There you go there with the website, as well as even the Facebook page. Make sure that you reach out if you see you have a child in need of being involved in HFI. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday morning. Of course, thank you all for being here with us as well. We've got more information on previous programs available on the website as well. This is also available on many social media platforms. Until next week, we will see you next time.